Here are the unrestricted free agents that are notable, ones that we end up losing. Should we keep them or not? Dre Greenlaw is the biggest one, the number one guy. That's probably the one they're going to focus on the most because Charvarius Ward has already spoken about how he has pretty much trauma being here. Totally understand by moving on with him. I'd like to have him back, but he's going to ask for a lot of money. And not only that, losing your kid here and he has that trauma, I respect it. Let him go. It's not a big deal. You got Green and you got Luter Jr. Just focus on getting a third corner somewhere else free agency here via the draft. Talanoa Hufanga, he can go, and I feel like a lot of 49ers fans can agree with that as well, just because he is slow. He is slow. We already have two solid, strong safeties in Malik Mustafa and Jair Brown, right? So we need to focus on getting a free safety who's relatively fast, a sideline to sideline free safety. That's the biggest need, just speed. We need speed there, right? So that way we can go into the nickel packages, dime packages, and kind of just trust the situation with our free safety. So I do see Hufanga gone. That would make sense. So that's two relatively expensive agents gone. Aaron Banks, offensive line. Aaron Banks. Now, he's not that great this year. He was good, I believe, last year, but this year, not so much. And I do feel like this draft that we have going that's coming our way is full of guards that will be out, that should be starters. I'm not lying. There is a lot of guards in this draft that I would much rather take a cheaper guy and a guy who could potentially be better than Banks for the years to come. I'm perfectly fine moving on from Banks. So that's three guys that we're totally don't have to worry about. Elijah Mitchell, he can go. He can go. He can come back if he wants. If we end up losing Mason, sure, whatever, that's fine. But that won't happen until free agency. I wouldn't even offer this guy to try to keep him around Elijah Mitchell. He can go. John Feliciano, he can go as well. Injury prone, older guy, time to move on. We got Pooney. We just need to find that guard in the draft. Joshua Dobbs, I wouldn't mind bringing him back, but I don't think we'll end up bringing him back. I think he'll probably move on somewhere else. But if we brought him back, I would like it, but he would probably get the vet minimum if we were to bring him back, just because Kyle Shanahan doesn't really love him that much and trusts Brandon Allen more so. Kevin Givens wasn't that great this year. I actually looked up his PFF grades. I looked up his stats. He was not very good for us, even when he filled in. He was like 100 and something in grade in run defense, pass blocking, and overall. He was absolutely atrocious. We can move on from him and try to find better depth. Evan Anderson was significantly better than him. So I think we should build off that, and so was Malik Collins. Brandon Allen, obviously, I think we should move on from him as well because he obviously proved that we cannot win games with this guy. So I think he's got to go. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles. We have Bethune in the wings. We have D. Winters. I think in free agency, get a depth linebacker in the draft in like the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. Maybe draft a linebacker. You have 10 picks in this draft, so you could afford in the 5th, 6th, 7th round to find somebody who could fill the role of Flanagan Fowles, who's a good special teamers, team player, but you can find that later on the draft. Isaac Yiadom. A lot of people want to say that Isaac Yiadom was not that bad, but I don't see what you guys saw. To the people who are saying he was not that bad, I don't understand it. Like, I can't remember what game it was, but like the Lions game, they purposely targeted Yiadom because he's either holding or he got beat. He was literally Josh Norman last year. I'm coming from a guy who liked Yiadom. I liked Yiadom coming into the season. I liked what I heard about him. I liked what he did in the preseason. He looked really good. But in the season, he was atrocious. Like, he got targeted on purpose because he was so bad. So I want to move on from Isaac Yiadom, and I want to, again, roll the dice on another underrated corner in free agency and try to draft one in the draft, of course. Khalil Davis, again, not that great. He is better than Kevin Givens, but he actually wasn't that good. He really wasn't. And I think D-line is something that needs to be completely like, okay, if there's a free agent, he's got to go. Free agent D-end, free agent D-tackle, they got to go. There is none that's worth keeping at that point. So I think in the draft and let Robert Saleh try to find the D-lineman. Let Robert Saleh do that. Let Khalil Davis go and let Kevin Givens go. Rocky Sin, he can go. He did absolutely nothing. Eric Saubert, I don't mind bringing him back, hopefully rather cheap. He did his part, right? Like, he's not great or fantastic. I still think we should draft another tight end to try to fill in that role for George Kittle. I do think that, but I actually liked Eric Saubert, but he should be relatively cheap. Donald can go. Gibson can go. Hopefully we can bring back Charlie Heck. I do like Charlie Heck a lot. I liked what he did in those 1 or 2 games in which he played. Like his potential. Hopefully we can bring him back on a cheap contract for 1 year, like a prove-it deal. Again, still try to approach the draft and free agency for other tackles, but he should be cheap, and I liked what he brought to the table. Ben Barch, I think he can go. Patrick Taylor was absolutely atrocious. He can go. Jalen Moore, I think he can go. Nick McLeod, probably bring him back for special teams. I wouldn't mind that. And we all know Devondre Campbell. That's not even a question. Restricted free agents, the only one that I would mind bringing back is Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason, just because someone's going to have to give him a pick and probably pay him a lot of money. So that could be a possibility between that. But if we missed out on him, whatever pick we end up getting, we need to use on a running back. Just recycle the pick. Just recycle it. So if we get like a 3rd or 4th round for him, just use that 3rd or 4th round pick on a running back. Get Scatterbo, because Scatterbo is going to – we all know that speed's a big thing. And Scatterbo is most likely going to fall to the 3rd, 4th, or maybe in the 5th round possibly, and he's a stud. I would not mind recycling that pick for someone like Scatterbo, who would be someone in that situation. Curtis Robinson, he's all right. Exclusive restricted free agents, Alex Barrett can go. Jalen Graham can go. I wouldn't mind bringing back Sam O. He would be a good guy to bring back. Jake Tungus, for some reason, they have a thing for him. I don't understand. Evan Anderson and Austin Pleasance, I would love to bring back. So we got Austin Pleasance, Evan Anderson, Sam O are the 3 exclusive free agents that I like to bring back to the team. They were fantastic depth pieces, and I like the potential that they could bring this team if they get more reps down the line. And then, obviously, I want Charlie Heck. So Charlie Heck would be the one I want. Nick McLeod, I want to bring back a special teamer. Eric Saubert, I wouldn't mind bringing back. Joshua Dobbs, if it just depends upon his situation, and then Greenlaw. So that's just 5 free agents, and none of them are going to ask for a shit ton of money outside of Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw is the only kind of outlier when it comes to free agents that's probably going to ask for a shit ton of cash. Let's be honest. If he wants top dollar, highest paid linebacker in the league, let him go. I say let him go because you can't. He's great. He's phenomenal. He's perfect for the defense and stuff like that. But if you want to go faster and you want a guy who has availability, because availability is the best ability, you have to move on for Dre Greenlaw if he wants top dollar. Now, if he doesn't want top dollar, wants like a 1-year prove-it deal where he does still get a lot of fully guaranteed money, but it doesn't like hinder us in the cap, I wouldn't mind bringing him back for that reason. But Dre Greenlaw is the only high-profile unrestricted free agent or free agent in general that I would be like, okay, let's try and bring him back. Let's really put the effort in trying to bring him back. He's really the only one I want to put that kind of effort in. The rest are really just kind of depth, and you like their potential, but if you miss out on them, it's because someone else overpaid for them. That's just about it. So those are the unrestricted free agents who I think the 49ers should bring back. And then, of course, outside of that unrestricted free agents that are going to come up, the first thing, and I mean the first thing the 49ers need to focus on, even before working on Dre Greenlaw. Before you work on Dre Greenlaw, rest of those free agents and stuff, you need to get Brock Purdy signed. That is number 1 priority in my mind. Yes, when it comes to free agents, unrestricted free agents, Dre Greenlaw is number 1. Everyone else, bottom of the barrel. Necessity at that point. But Brock Purdy needs to be signed before free agency. We need him here. We need him established. We need all that, like, oh, is it going to be this quarterback? Is it going to be this quarterback? Are we going to trade for this guy? Are we going to trade him in the offseason? Are we trade him in the draft? We cannot have that. We have the coaches now. Take care of the most important position in the NFL. That is the quarterback position. Sign him. I don't care what the price tag is at this point. It's going to be a problem down the line. The more months that he misses, the more days that he misses, the voluntary camps that he misses, it's going to affect the team. We need him here. We need him paid, and we know he's going to hold out. Let's be honest, right? Because he's already I can totally see him holding out, being like, hey, I want my contract. I want my money. So I love Brock Purdy and stuff, but like, if he were to show up, there'd just be too many questions. Let's say he shows up and doesn't hold out, right? The constant questioning, the constant worry, the constant crap in the back of every player's mind will be there. And also in the back of Brock Purdy's mind, like, hey, am I going to be here? We cannot have that. The coaches, Cannot have that. Brian Greasy cannot have that. And I understand, but force him to pay on the tag. Force him to pay on his last year. I'm sorry, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. His payment is now. His time is now. He needs to get paid now. $180 million guaranteed, 150, 200, whatever it may be. However you figure it out in the end, if you end up getting conned for him, making him the highest paid quarterback, whatever, die on that hill. Die on it. Time is up. It's time to pay. You paid Jimmy G the most. You made Jimmy G at the time the highest paid quarterback in February. What is holding you back here from a guy who's a lot more proven, who's done a lot more for the organization, who deserves a lot more considering back pay? Because that fucking, if there's anyone, a quarterback deserves back pay, it's him. Truly. Time to pay the guy. Number one priority. So that is the coaching situation with Robert Saleh, Brent Byer, the free agents that are 49ers are coming their way, and, of course, what the 49ers should do next. Next is Brock Purdy, Dre Greenlaw, and then the reserves of free agents that are left. That should be the priority next. We got the coaches. We're all established with coaches. We're good now. Quarterback. Then the free agents. I do not want to see this contract. I do not want to see negotiations go past February. That's what I want. And that's what I expect from this team to figure that out. Truly. So, and I want to mention before I jump into the comments, because we have a few other comments, because obviously I get into those, but the 49ers paid Diamador Lenore early. Something we never saw, none of us saw coming. It just came out of the woodwork. It was a smart move because it turns out that when Lenore ended up getting paid, guess what? He played better. He actually played better. He played up to his contract. Right? Some say he got snubbed from the Pro Bowl because he was so good. So the 49ers need to jump on it as soon as possible because the QB market is going to explode again. They need to get in front of it. And hopefully they've learned their lesson, and Diamador Lenore is a thing, is of things to come. So hopefully we'll jump into that. And then, okay,